Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today is my video presentation about four different topics related to cloud computing. So the main topics that I'm going to discuss today is about monitoring as a service, budget-aware monitoring, five principles of cloud computing, representational state transfer, also known as REST. Let's get started. So, cloud computing has transformed the way business and organization manage technologies. So, instead of relying only on physical hardware and traditional system, organizations now use cloud service for storage, application communication, and also as for computing power. So, however, with this growth comes to the need for the proper monitoring, cost management, and efficient communication between the systems. That is why the understanding this concept is very important. So let me go through the each topic one by one. Okay, so the first topic, monitoring as service, is commonly known as MaaS. So it is a cloud-based monitoring solution that helps organization observe track, manage, and perform the performance of the system, application networks, and the infrastructure. So, in traditional IT environment, companies had to install, monitor, and software on their own servers and maintain it manually. So, this process require high cost, technical expertise, and continuous maintenance as well. So, but in cloud computing, monitoring as a service allows business to use monitoring tools directly from the cloud through the internet. The service provider manages the monitoring platform while the user can access dashboard reports, alerts, and analytics from anywhere. So in simple word, monitoring as a service helps organizations monitor their cloud resources without needing to build their own monitoring infrastructures. So how monitoring as a service work? So monitoring as a service work by continuously collecting data from servers, application database, and networks and cloud services. The collection of data is then analyzed to identify performance issues, security threats, system failures, resource usage, downtime problems. The monitoring platform sends alerts or notification whenever user activity or errors are detected. So, for example, if a company website becomes a slow or crashes, the monitoring system immediately informs administrators so they can solve the problem quickly. So what are the features of monitoring as a service? So there are several important features of monitoring as a service. So first is real-time monitoring. So it continuously tracks system performance in real time. That is like continuous checking of the system. The second is automated alerts. The system automatically sends alerts through email, SMS, or dashboard whenever the problem occurs. The third one is the data analytics. So it analyzes collected data and generates useful insights and reports. The fourth is scalability. So as a business requirement, Grow monitoring service can easily expand without major hardware upgrades. The fifth is remote accessibility. So administrator can monitor system from any location using the internet. So let's talk about the advantages of monitoring as a service. So monitoring as a service may benefit to following things. So it helps in cost reduction. So organizations do not need to purchase expensive monitoring hardware or software. So next one is the better performance management. So it helps detect problems early before they affect users. The other one is improved reliability. So continuous monitoring ensures system remains stable and available. So that helps in improvement in reliability as well. The next one advantage is the faster problem resolution. Automatic alerts helps IT teams to help respond quickly any kind of issues they can solve quickly. So that is like a fast problem resolution. So the next one is reduce maintenance efforts. The cloud provider manage update and infrastructure. That's why it will help in reducing maintenance effort as well. Not only the advantage, it also has some disadvantage. So let me talk about it. So despite many benefits, there are some disadvantages as well. So they have some security concerns. So sensitive monitoring data is stored in the cloud, which may create privacy risks in the system. The next one is internet dependency. So monitoring service depend heavily on internet connectivity, which which helps continues to work on the internet. So that's why it will create a dependency on the internet. The next one is limited control. So organization may have less control over monitoring infrastructures compared to on-premises solutions. So there might be some limitation on that as well. So let me talk about the examples of monitoring and service tools. Some popular examples include Amazon CloudWatch, Google Cloud Monitoring, Microsoft Azure Monitor, Data Log, and New Relic. So these tools are widely used for cloud monitoring and system management. So to conclude, the monitoring as a service, overall monitoring as a service is an essential component of modern cloud computing. It helps organize and improve system performance, reduce downtime, and efficiently manage cloud infrastructure as well. So I will talk about the next important topic, that is like budget aware monitoring. So let's move on to that topic. So budget-aware monitoring refers to monitoring system and cloud resources while considering financial limitations or budget constraints. So in cloud computing, organizations pay for the resources they use, such as storage, bandwidth, servers, and processing power. Without proper monitoring, cloud costs can increase rapidly. Therefore, budget-aware monitoring helps organization balance performance and cost efficiency. In simple words, it ensures the monitoring activities do not exceed the allocated budget. So why budget-aware monitoring is important? So platform follows a pay-as-you-go model. This means organizations are charged based on the usage. If monitoring system collect too much unnecessary data, use too many resources, costs can increase significantly. So budget our monitoring helps organizations control cloud expenses, avoid resource wastage, improve financial planning, maintain efficient monitoring as well. So you might have like a query like how budget-aware monitoring works. So budget-aware monitoring works by setting a spending limits, monitoring resource usage, continuously track costs related to data collection, storage usage, network traffic, computing resources, monitoring tools. So when spending approaches the predefined budget, the system can send alerts, reduce monitoring frequency, stop unnecessary data collection, optimize resource allocation. For example, a company may decide to monitor critical application every time, while less important system are monitored every hour to save cost. So key component of budget hour monitoring. So resources prioritization, critical system receives higher monitoring attention. Cost tracking, the system continuously track cloud expenses, automated optimization. So resources are adjusted automatically to remain within the budget. So alert mechanism, administrators are informed before cost exceeds the limit. So what are the advantages of budget hour monitoring? The main advantage of hour monitoring are cost efficiency. Organization can manage expenses effectively, better resource utilization. Resources are allocated according to the importance. So financial control. Business can avoid unexpected cloud bills. Improve decision making. So managers can make better financial and technical decisions. Not only the advantage, they also have some challenges. So let me go through all the challenges. So the main challenges of budget hour monitoring are reduced monitoring accuracy, where the lower monitoring frequency may miss some issues. Not only that, complex configuration, balancing cost and performance can be difficult. Dynamic cloud pricing, cloud service cost may change frequently. Also, to give you a real world example, suppose an online company uses cloud servers. During normal days, the company monitors its system at a moderate level to reduce cost. But during major sales and event like Black Friday, the company increased monitoring to ensure website stability. This is an example of budget hour monitoring because monitoring levels are adjusted according to the business needs and budgets. So to conclude the budget hour monitoring, in conclusion, I will say budget monitoring is very important in cloud computing because it helps in organization maintain system performance while controlling operational expenses. The next important topic I'm going to discuss about is five principles of cloud computing. So let us go through that. So this principle describes the main characteristics that make cloud computing powerful, flexible, and efficient. So according to National Institute of Standard and Technology, or NIST, cloud computing has five essential characteristics. They are on-demand self-service. The first principle is on-demand self-service. So this means user can access computing resources whenever needed without requiring human interaction from the service provider. For example, a customer can create virtual machines, purchase storage, or increase server capacity instantly through an online dashboard. So this principle improves speed, flexibility, and convenience. The next topic is broad network access. The second principle is uh, also one of the most common principle of Cloud computing. So cloud services are available over the internet and can be accessed from different devices such as laptops, smartphone, and tablets. The user can connect to cloud services from anywhere with the internet connection. This improves accessibility and supports remote work. The next principle is resource pooling. So the third principle is also one of the common principle of cloud computing. So cloud providers combines computing resources such as storage, servers, memory, and networking into a shared pool. So these resources are dynamically assigned to multiple users based on demand. The model is called multi-tenancy. For example, several business may use the same physical server while remaining isolated from each other. So resource pooling improves efficiency and reduce cost as well. The next principle is rapid elasticity. The cloud resources can quickly increase or decrease depending on workload requirement. For example, if the website traffic suddenly increases, cloud servers can automatically scale up. When demand increases, resource can scale down. This flexibility helps organizations handle changing workload efficiently as well. Um, the next one is major service. The fifth principle that we'll all talking about is major services. The cloud system automatically monitor and measure resource usage. Customers pay only for what they use. This is often called the pay-as-you-go model. Example includes paying for storage space used, processing power consumed, internet bandwidth utilized. Major services provided transparency and cost control. Let me go to the importance of these principles. So the five principles, they are important because it increases flexibility, reduces infrastructure cost, improves scalability, and support remote accessibility. It also enhances resource efficiency. Without this principle, cloud computing would not provide the advantage and organize now to enjoy today. So to conclude the five principles in summary, the five principles of cloud computing from the foundation of modern cloud service and enables business to operate more efficiently and economically. Now, the fourth topic that I can discuss is about representational state transfer REST. So, it is also commonly known as REST. REST is an architectural style used for designing web services and APIs. An API, an application program interface, allows different software systems to communicate with each other. So REST was introduced by Roy Fielding in the year 2000. Today, REST is one of the most popular methods for building web application and cloud services. So what does REST do? So REST enables communication between clients and servers using different standard internet protocol, especially HTTP. For example, a mobile application communicates with the cloud servers. A website retrieves data from the database. An online payment system processing transactions. All these interactions often use REST APIs. So how does REST work? So REST works through HTTP method. The most common HTTP methods are get, used to retrieve data. For example, getting user information from a server. Post, used to create new data. For example, creating a new user account. Put, used to update existing data. For example, editing customer information. Delete, used to remove data. For example, deleting a user record. So what are the key principles of REST? So the key principles of REST are as follows. Client server architectures. The client and server are separated. The client send request and the server provide response. The next principle is stateless communication. So each request is independent. The server does not store client session information between requests. So this improves scalability and reliability as well. The next principle I'll talk about is uniform interface. So REST uses standard method and formats. This makes APIs simple and easy to understand as well. The next one is resource-based design. So everything is treated as resources. For example, users, product, and orders files. Each resource has a unique URL. So let me talk about the advantage of REST. The advantage of REST are it is very simple. So REST APIs are easy to develop and use. It is very scalable. So REST support large-scale distributed system. It is very flexible. So REST work with different programming language and platform. It has very good performance as started communication improves speeds and efficiency. Not only the advantages, it also has some disadvantages. which are like there is no inbuilt security. So additional security method must be implemented. Large data transfer. Sometimes REST responses can contain large amount of data. So they have multiple requests. Complex operation may require several API requests. So let me make it simple and give you some real world example of the REST. So many popular application uses REST APIs. For example, social media application, online banking system, e-commerce website, weather application, cloud storage services. So for example, when you check weather information on mobile app, the app usually retrieve data from the REST APIs. So to conclude the REST, in conclusion, REST is a powerful and flexible approach for communication between the system and plays a major role in modern web and cloud application. So for today's video, these are the important topics already discussed. So to conclude my video presentation, today as we discuss the four important cloud computing topics. So first we'll learn about monitoring as a service, which helps organization monitor cloud system efficiently. Second, we discuss about budget hour monitoring, which focuses on balancing monitoring performance with cost control. Then third, we discuss about the five principles of cloud computing, which form the foundation of cloud services. So finally, we explore REST, which enables communication between the application and web services. So these concepts are extremely important in modern cloud environments because they improve efficiency, scalability, performance, and communication. So that's all for today's video. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you like my video and have a very good idea about these topics. So if you have any queries regarding these topics, please comment below. Thank you. Thank you so much.